Hello Story Chasers, this is Amber again, and I have a special treat for you today. I have here with me Ashlee Leppert. Say hi, Ashlee.
Hi!
We're out here in Montana, and I'm staying at a Harvest Host today, and she happens to be the camp host here. And I started chatting with her as I was filling up with my water, and she has an amazing story that I really want to share with you guys. So first, we're actually going to do a rig tour. She lives in a fifth wheel. I've never actually shown you guys a fifth wheel on here, so I'm so excited to tour her rig. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about her story, and just a little sneak peek. She is a veteran, and she has an amazing story, and she's written a book. And we're going to talk all about that at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned to the end.
Welcome to my home. Come on in. Welcome to my home. My name is Ashlee Leppert. I was in the military for 14 years as a helicopter mechanic in the Coast Guard, and I just recently retired a year ago and decided to buy my fifth wheel. I decided to do that instead of purchasing a home because the military had told me where to move for the last 14 years, and so I decided if I buy a fifth wheel, I can travel where I want for the first time in my life. So welcome. I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so we'll start off. This is my living room area. I am blessed enough to have a big TV, a nice fireplace, and a Bluetooth soundbar if I'm in the mood to listen to music. I have a black lab. Her name is Mandy, and she has her bed here. She also has another bed in the bedroom, so she can sleep wherever she wants. This is my wonderful couch that folds out into a queen-size bed, which is wonderful to accommodate guests. I have some good storage room here. On this side, I have two nice Lazy Boy recliners, which is awesome when I just want to sit back and watch some TV. Moving along this side, I have, of course, as you can see, I love shoes. So I have my nice shoe collection here and a nice table with 4 chairs if I decide to have some people over for some dinner. I have my plants. I love to make it feel as homey as possible, so I have my nice collection of plants that I have collected from every state that I've been to. I love my favorite part about my RV, one of my favorite parts, is all the windows. There's so much natural lighting, and at night when it's just cool enough, you can open up all the windows and have that nice fresh air come in, which is extremely important. So I don't like to run the air conditioning all the time, so that was a bonus for me. And then coming along this side, I love reading books, so I constantly have a good collection of books to read, and again, more storage for my dishes and different Tupperware and things like that. And then, of course, I have more storage below. There's no shortage of storage in this fifth wheel, I can assure you that. So one of the most amazing parts about the fifth wheel for me is my kitchen. I love my little island area where I can prepare meals and cut up my vegetables, and it's a 2-part sink, so I have my little drying rack and where I wash my dishes, and I love it because it's just my little island, makes me feel like at home. And then behind me is another wonderful part about my kitchen is I have my microwave, I have my 3-burner stove, my oven inside where I can basically cook anything I want. It's all ran by propane, so it's perfect. And then coffee is a must for me. Every morning I come over here to my sweet little Keurig and I make at least 2 cups of coffee to get me going. So this is definitely my favorite little corner over here. And then my residential fridge. This to me is also very important because when you're on the road and you're traveling, who wants to grocery shop like every 2 days? Not me. I hate grocery shopping. So I like to keep this stocked up, and that way I don't have to grocery shop as often. So it's beautiful. It's stocked up right now, as you can tell, and it's residential, which is great because it's ran by its own power inverter, so this will stay going for a very long time. Well, it could be ran on propane, but it has its separate inverter that it could be ran right off the battery. So moving up this way is my nice bathroom. So yes, this bathroom is extremely important for me because I know it's hard to tell in the video, but I'm a tall gal. I'm close to 5'10", so to have a shower where I can stretch out and shave my legs without bumping into every wall is very important. So I love my big shower, I love my porcelain toilet, and I love my vanity and lots of space for all my perfumes, deodorants, makeup, all that good girly stuff. So the toilet is awesome. It is porcelain. My black tank, I have actually 3 tanks tanks. I have one galley gray tank, I have one shower gray tank, and then I have my black tank. And for one person, it doesn't fill up very quick, but I love it because it's very simple to use. It's porcelain, so it doesn't get dirty and gross, and there's a little pedal on the right hand side, so you just press the pedal and your black tank gets filled that way. So it's pretty easy and user friendly and doesn't get dirty, which is important. Awesome. Well, this is my bedroom where all the magic happens. Not so much. So, as you can tell with a little bit of my shoe collection, I also love clothing. So another selling point for me was this is the huge armoire where I have all my closet stuff. So I'll open this up so you can see. Boom, clothes, boom, more clothes, and boom, more clothes. You can fit a lot of clothes in here. So I love this little spot. And then coming around here, I have more little nooks and crannies. So at night, I can have my book in there. I can have my fan going. I can have a glass of water, whatever. And then, of course, more storage up here where I keep all my towels in my bathroom, washcloths and things like that. And more storage. Wait. I have this hole underneath here where I keep all of my clothes. I keep my summer stuff there, and so I can change out depending on the season. So, and a nice big king size bed. And instead of getting a new mattress, I bought a little mattress topper. Makes it feel like memory foam. And I love it. I sleep cozy every night. And there's a second air conditioner just for the bedroom, which is so awesome because if it's getting really hot in here at night, I can just pop that baby on and sleep like a champ. So we're coming up this way, and excuse my pile of books here. We'll talk about this a little later. But on the way up, I also have an awesome map where I keep track of all the places I've traveled to. Road trip from where I left in New Orleans, up the East Coast, and then all the way out to the West Coast where I'm here in Montana. And so it's kind of fun to look over and plan your vacation and plan your trip and also be like, wow, I got a lot of miles on this bad boy. So this fifth wheel I tow with my 2015 GMC Sierra. It's a 2500. And of course I had to get the Denali version because who wants to drive in nothing but luxury, right? So yeah, it's very powerful. I love it for me, being that I travel mostly by myself. It is very user friendly to have a fifth wheel as opposed to a travel trailer because it's so much easier. For one person, I back my hitch right into my fifth wheel and I either extend or retract the landing gear depending if I'm coming or going, and it's just really user friendly for one person to do by themselves. I make my little checklist because, as we all know, you learn some mistakes and you remember not to do them for the second time and the third time, so I have my little pre-flight checklist is what I call it. So, and I love it, and it's really great on gas mileage. It's obviously a lot more expensive having the house that I'm towing with me, but you know, it's a diesel, so I get a little bit more boom for my buck.
Ashlee, can you tell us what type of rig you have and what you pull it with, and any specifics you have about tank size, propane, etc.?
Sure. So I have a 2019 Wildcat from Forest River, and it is a 29 foot. I pull it with my GMC Sierra. It's a 2015 2500 HD. So it can handle this kind of big rig. And I don't quite know the tank size off the top of my head, but I know I have 2 propane tanks that are removable, and I just pop them off when they're empty and go get them filled up. I have 3 slides in here, one in the bedroom for my armoire with my closet full of clothes, and then I have 2, one that takes the kitchen and the entertainment center out, and the lazy boy and the kitchen outside that way. So 2 slides out in the living room and then 1 in the bedroom.
So Ashlee, you said that you are a retired military veteran, and I'd love to know a little bit more about your story, like what prompted you to go into the military, and then you retired and went into this whole RV crazy life.
Well, first of all, I kind of joined the military because my love for service of people has always been there. And the Coast Guard specifically, I joined because I have the love for water. I love water. I was on the swim team for quite a while in my junior high and high school years. And also I had a friend who joined the military in the Coast Guard, and he would always tell me, I'm flying around the beaches of Florida and I'm saving lives. And so I was like, man, that sounds like a pretty good gig. So I joined specifically for the 4-year contract, but 14 years later I was still doing it because I loved it so much. And for me, the ability to save people in trouble and to be a service to the country was all that I wanted to do in life. So I fast forward to 14 years. I was one of the first crews out during Hurricane Harvey in Houston to rescue people. And that led to a lot of amazing rescues and a lot of awesome opportunities, primarily being invited to the Presidential State of the Union in 2018. And because of that, it was an awesome opportunity for me to use that small platform to write my book, which was sort of a therapy thing for me as well. So I wrote my story about my life, some things that I've been through, the crazy hurricane rescues, the State of the Union, and my goal, it's my new passion project, to plant seeds of faith in people and to inspire and empower every reader.
So I'm sure you have, as you were saying, like some really amazing stories and things that you had happen when you were in the military, and you wrote this book about it. Can you share a little bit about the book?
Sure. Well, I'll give you a little sneak peek. So this is my book. It is called The Hurricane Within. I just completed the audiobook as well, and it's all on Amazon and Audible and all that. But one of the main parts about the story, and people find this to be the most interesting, is I wrote the story as though you are flying in the helicopter with me. We're in the middle of a hurricane. You're feeling the wind, you're feeling the rain, you're feeling every sense that I was feeling. And the craziest story that I have is probably about saving a woman, and she had about 6 or 7 babies with her, and also saving a pregnant woman from an apartment complex as she was pretty much giving birth and couldn't make it to a hospital. So that's only a sliver of what I talk about in my story. And I also talk about my life and some things that I've overcome, and how God has got me through all of that. So if you did want to get the story, I hope that you love it, and I hope that you reach out to me and let me know what you think of it as well, because I always love hearing from the readers what they think of my story.
So Ashlee, one of the number one questions that I get from solo female travelers or people who are looking to go into this lifestyle is they're scared. They have fear in their heart about doing this. So when you started out, were you fearful at all? And if you were, what did you do to overcome it? If you weren't fearful, what kind of advice would you give to women out there who are looking to do this?
So first of all, I will say that it is two-part for me. Absolutely terrifying, but also the most empowering spiritual thing that I've ever done. It's a beautiful thing. For me, I was blessed enough that I have my military background as being a helicopter mechanic. So I'm sure that a lot of women might be nervous because they don't have the mechanical troubleshooting skills if they run into an issue. Or anything like that. But for me, I wasn't necessarily fearful because I prepare very well. I think my biggest piece of advice for any woman who might be considering this lifestyle or even just taking a short trip is just prepare yourself. Study your home, your vehicle, make your checklists. I personally carry a weapon so I can protect myself from any intruders. So I have a home defense shotgun and a pistol, so I protect myself. I also have pepper spray, I have paper maps, I have backup maps, I have different fuses and tools and different things that I can prepare for in case there is any type of emergency or any type of situation where I need to fix things. But I would say also the power of your mindset is huge. If you talk yourself into, I'm scared, I'm fearful, you're going to end up driving down the road with your 10 and 2 scared. Think positive, because you can do it. Anybody can do it. If you have a positive mindset that I'm going to prepare myself for this trip, I'm going to study and hone in on my specific vehicle type or rig type, and just have that positive outlook, I promise you the power of the mind is huge. And just have faith over fear. That's what I tell everybody. Faith over fear, because fear is a liar, and it will take you away from any dream that you have and any goal that you may be trying to achieve. So I just say go for it, and if you run into an issue, just make sure that you have a backup plan. Make sure you have good insurance to get things fixed, good cell service to call for help, and get out there and enjoy life. You have one life to live.
Actually, another question that I get a lot is the gas fuelage, the fuel efficiency for your truck. That's a big truck plus a big fifth wheel. How good is it? How bad is it?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's not the greatest. I probably get on average maybe 16 miles per gallon. When I don't have my rig hooked up, it's a lot more in the 20s range. But, I'm working on trying to possibly do some work on my vehicle to make that gas mileage better. So that is one of the downfalls of having a big home and a big truck. It's going to suck some gas, but thankfully diesel prices are a little down right now, so that definitely helps. My power is ran off of 50 amp power. I also have an adapter, so I'm able to hook up to a 30 amp if I need to, and then when I do that, I kind of just utilize the main things that I need, which is primarily the air conditioning if it's hot. So I have a residential fridge and it's run off of the power inverter. I have one solo just for my fridge, which is great. I also have the possibility to have solar if I want. There's solar hookups on there. So I think I'm going to take the leap eventually and buy the solar panels, because I know it's quite an investment initially, but I feel like the payoff in the long run, you can't put a price tag on it, because that way you can boondock anywhere and for sure have power. But I also do have a generator that's right outside my home, so if I get into a situation where I do want to boondock, I make sure my water tanks are filled up, and then I have my generator, which typically I put about 5 gallons of fuel in there that just takes regular unleaded, and it runs typically about 8 hours, which is not too bad because 5 gallons for 8 hours, that's pretty cheap.
So is there anything you miss about being in that stationary life since you started RVing?
So I love my RV. It was the best decision I ever made buying it. But I will be honest with you, there's just a couple things that I really, really miss about the stationary lifestyle. One, I love reading, but I love reading in a bubble bath with a glass of wine, and I don't have a bath. So I definitely say that I miss that relaxation portion. The second thing, which is maybe not that big of a deal, but I miss having my garden outside. I miss being able to go outside and pick my tomatoes or my cucumber or whatever and bring it in for that dinner. So I would say, although those are just 2 minor things, the rest of my life I cannot complain. I'm very grateful and thankful for my beautiful little home on wheels.
So Ashlee, we've talked about the things that you miss about stationary life, but what are the things that you really love about RV life? The things that have really made you feel super happy and you would just love it?
Well, honestly, like I said, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made to travel and to be able to have the luxury of picking up my home and moving it wherever I want. There's something to be said about the freedom. I think the freedom, and for me, being that I gave so much time to my military career, this is my first time in my life where I have the freedom to pick up and move and go wherever I want. And there's something to be said for that, for your psyche and your mental health, and just being able to look outside and see whether it's a beach or whether it's mountains, but just knowing that you're in charge of your destiny. And when you're tied down to a stationary life and a home that you have to pay mortgage on, you know, you're kind of locked in. But with an RV, if it's wintertime and I want to head south, I just pick up and go. Or if it's really hot in the summertime, I'm saying I'm going up in the mountains in the wintertime, or in the summertime rather. So overall, I would just say that there is so many beautiful things about living in your RV home, being able to make your life a little more simple and not have all these things, and you're just bound to this beautiful little space that you can make home. And it's also less to clean, which is also a plus. So I think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons for RV life.
And that's one of the things that I talk about on my channel is minimalism. And while your rig is much bigger than my van, I still feel like it's much more minimalistic from the standpoint of a traditional home. You can only have so many things in here, right? Because you're more limited space than you would have in a house. Do you miss having all of that stuff in a house?
So being minimalistic is really important for me because things are just things. To me, I would much rather have a home that I can go explore with than have a pile of things in a home that's just going to collect dust. And that may not be for everybody, but I find more joy in exploring God's beautiful creation of this planet than stocking up a pile of Coach purses that are going to just collect dust. So to me, I would rather spend my money on activities and exploring than spend my money on things. And for me, that's just a part of this RV lifestyle, and I love it. And if that changes, then maybe one day I'll buy a plot of land and park my RV and be stationary for a while. But for now in my life, it's very perfect, and it's peaceful, it's healing, and it's very empowering to be in control of where you want to place yourself in your home. Right above here I have a bunch of storage area where I keep different things, some just knickknacks and different items if I need to. Sorry, I messed that up. Okay. So this is great because as should I
No, it's hilarious. I love it. Keep it in.
okay. Really hot in here at night. I can just pop that baby on and sleep like a champ.
So Ashlee, is there?
I know, I do the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay. My shirt's
Fine, I do the same. I do the same thing. You gotta get your good
Make
side,
sure-
right?
I know.
I'm like, I hope you didn't get my double chin and all these.
Oh my God! Stop it. You're fine. Cut out my ums at the end there. Sorry, Jay.
Interview for your podcast. It's my honor. It's my pleasure.
Podcast.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Cut that one.
Sorry, Jay.
So Ashlee, I really appreciate you showing me around your rig and sharing with me about your life. You have an incredible story. You've inspired me a lot listening to you and what you've done, and of course I thank you so much for your service.
So I want to thank you actually for thinking of me to be on your YouTube channel. It's been an honor, and I love my RV family, so it's an honor to be able to share my home with you guys, and I really appreciate having this conversation with you today.
Absolutely. So guys, if you're interested in getting Ashlee's book, we're going to do a giveaway for her book. It's called The Hurricane Within. She has it on Amazon.
Yes.
So digital version and an actual book, but we're going to do a giveaway for the actual book. And the details are going to be listed below, so make sure you click in the description box and then look at what the details are. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys. I'm actually getting the book myself because I'm going to read it. I just love her story, and I think you will too. And so Ashlee, if people want to get a hold of you, you have social media accounts. How can they find you?
So guys, I would love to hear back from you in any way, shape, or form. I have a Instagram, a Facebook page, my website, and they're all at The Hurricane Within. And you can also search my name, Ashlee Leppert, and reach out to me, send me a message if you have any questions, whether it be about my rig itself or about my book or my service or anything. I love hearing from people, so reach out and we can chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ashlee.
Thank you for having me.